In this lecture, we are going to talk about emotions and emotional intelligence. Now, let's first understand what exactly are emotions, and then we'll talk about emotional intelligence. Traditionally, emotions have been understood as an instinct which should be either subdued or suppressed. So, emotions, even now, in a layman's term, we feel that emotions are something negative and something which act out of an instinctive behavior and which should be suppressed or subdued if you want to act in a rational or in a mature manner. So that is what a normal understanding on an emotion is. But the modern thought believes that expression of self personality which result in development and enrichment of a person is actually what an emotion is. So it's an expression of your personality and it results in development and enrichment of a person. Emotional expression is a powerful tool of communication. So they've taken emotions out of their negative connotation and they've put emotions in a positive light and they've brought a new side of emotions to us. So they're telling us that emotions can have both positive and negative sides, but we need to understand the positive sides as well, which is that it's a powerful tool of communication. It results in enrichment of a person and it helps you to express what exactly you are feeling. So that positive side of an emotion should not be suppressed or undermined. Now, what are the positive and negative emotions? Love and affection, happiness, joy, and surprise. These are positive emotions which help a person feel happy or feel positive about himself and about others. And the opposite of these emotions are negative emotions. So, any emotion which helps you or which forces you to feel fear, sadness, anger, disgust, or shame, it's a negative emotion. So, these are the positives and negatives emotions. Now, let's very briefly talk about emotional intelligence. The definition of emotional intelligence says that the ability to build relationships with people and get along in different situations and thus command respect in the group is what is called as emotional intelligence. So the example of Mahatma Gandhi is very relevant here. He had high emotional intelligence and the reason for that was number one, he was able to connect to the masses by understanding their emotions and by hitting on their emotions. Secondly, he took a lot of unpopular decisions in his lifetime when he was dealing with freedom struggle, but despite that he could connect with the masses, he could justify his emotions, and he could command respect among people. He could command respect and he could convince people that whatever was he was doing was actually in their favor or for their advancement. That was the difference between Mahatma Gandhi and others, and the reason for that was that he was very emotionally intelligent. He knew how people were feeling and he understood how they were feeling and he talked to a people in their own language, and that was the difference between him and other people. Now, what are the elements of emotional intelligence? Number one, self awareness. You know what exactly your emotions and feelings are. You have control over your emotions. It does not mean that you suppress your emotions, it means that you are able to express your emotions at the right time when exactly you need to express them. Third is empathy. Empathy means putting yourself in others' shoes. So, this example that I take about Mahatma Gandhi was very close to empathy. He could feel what others were feeling, and therefore he could understand their positive and negative emotions and feelings and react in the same manner, and that's what differentiated him from others. He was very cooperative. He knew how to collect people and generate cooperation among people and resolving conflicts. People who interact on a regular basis always often find themselves in a spiral of emotions where conflict is natural. By managing emotional issues, these conflicts can be managed and resolved. So, if you are high on emotional intelligence, you know how to resolve conflicts by talking to other people, by understanding their emotional issues, and by managing their issues and thus resolving the conflict. So that's the difference between a person who is high on emotional intelligence and another person who is low on emotional intelligence. So this a very brief lecture was about emotions. This is the maximum that can be asked from emotions. It's a very small topic. There is not much written in the books as well. There are not enough theories about emotional intelligence. The one that we talked about was the modern view versus the traditional view, and that's all.